watching him work, though.
This is great. Awesome. Excellent.
It kind of reminds me of Trading Places when they're in there selling and buying the stocks.
Turn those machines back on.
Turn those machines back on. Sal Paolantonio joins us now, super NFL reporter from ESPN, and he covers the Philadelphia Eagles. Sal, how are you, buddy?
Hey, Sal.
When you said super NFL reporter, he started laughing.
No, we were talking about Trading Places when you come. So, you know Kirk Kaplan. He used to work over at ESPN on Mike and Mike. He was trying to get your phone number, answer the phone, do a whole bunch of different things, and we're watching him run the board, keep us on the air, and so it was crazy when you called.
That was funny, though. That was very good.
I know. So
you should have that laugh track here at my house. That's good.
We'll make that.
All right, so let's talk about when you're watching preseason football. When you're watching, and you've been watching it for decades, what are you seeing in the last, let's say, 5 years? Because we went over how many passes were thrown by 4 different quarterbacks and all these different receivers and stuff. How hard is it to kind of get a read on any of these given quarterbacks because of what offensive line is out there, what kind of players that they're allowed to play with? How hard are you grading these guys on their performance?
Well, preseason is about evaluation. It's not about conclusion. It's not about judgment, but it is about evaluation. And specifically for quarterbacks, the things that I want to see are decision-making, number one. Well, let's take last night, Eagles at Patriots, decision-making. Let's take Kenny Pickett. Now, Kenny Pickett knows going into the game that he's going to have his backups and his third-level offensive line, and he knows, hopefully, because the coaches have told him, that these are the Patriots' starters on defensive line at the linebacker and some in the secondary. And so there's going to be a mismatch. There's going to be a problem. And so what Kenny Pickett has to do is make a good decision with the football. And the decision he has to make with the football is real simple. Put his foot in the ground, his right foot in the ground as he drops back, and let it rip. Grip it and rip it. But he didn't do that last night a lot. He got sacked 4 times. Why? I don't know. He let the pocket collapse in on him. And the most egregious example, I thought, was after the Eagles' second-string right guard, Tyler Steen, goes down with an ankle injury. The first-year defensive coordinator of the Patriots calls a blitz right over that guy's replacement, right over the A-gap between the center and the guard. They collapse the pocket immediately right on top of Kenny Pickett. Pickett gets swallowed up and gets hit. And so, to me, I'm looking at this and saying, well, this is A, really bad coaching. They didn't put him in a position to succeed, or they didn't tell him, listen, whatever you do in this game, you're going to get bull rushed onto the bus. So get rid of the football. Or they told him that, and Kenny Pickett held on to the ball. So that's evaluation number one. Now, for the rookie quarterback, Drake May, I thought he really got rid of the ball quickly. And when he saw the rush, he evacuated. He's got athletic talent, clearly. The arm is super strong. The velocity on the ball is there. The spin rate on the ball is there. I like the fact that he scrambled. He saw that the backup safety, Bradbury, was biting on his fake throughout the game. He fakes him. Bradbury comes up the A-gap, and he just waltzes in the moonwalks into the end zone. I really liked the way he played that game. And on the flip side of that, I thought Jacoby Brissett, down near the end zone, he sees he's got coverage across the board. He stares down a receiver, and he gets picked by number 29, Avonte Maddox, the Cardinals' sin for quarterback is getting an interception in the end zone. So you can make these evaluations, and you can coach these players up. But that's what I saw last night.
What's the verdict, do you think, for this particular Patriots team? We have 4 quarterbacks right now in the mix, and as of accounts from Gerard Mayo yesterday, it has not been decided what's going to happen. Now, the other 2 quarterbacks, pick number 1 and pick number 2, are going to be starting for their respective teams in Chicago and Washington. But what do you think the right play is with Drake May with this other team? The roster of the Patriots is not as good as some of these other teams.
Yeah, and that's a question that dovetails off your original question, which is what's the status of your offensive line? What are you seeing from your offensive linemen? Are they winning their one-on-one matchups? Are they communicating with one another? Who's setting the protection? Is Drake May capable of setting the protection with his offensive linemen and the coaching staff? How is Drake May doing in the meeting rooms in setting protection when he looks through the film study with the coaching staff week in and week out? Next couple of weeks, they got to get him into the film room with the offensive line coach, the offensive line, and they got to figure out, okay, so this is what the Bills do. This is what Robert Saleh does with the Jets. This is what they do down in Miami. In terms of their blitz packages, what their tendencies are. Do you see that? And he'll say, yeah, I see it. What are you calling? What kind of protection? Are you sliding? Where are you sliding your protection? In other words, can he protect himself? Not only with his legs, but with his brain pre-snap and post-snap. If he can do that, I start him. I absolutely start him. You know, Chicago's desperate to get back on the map quickly. Right. And Caleb Williams has shown real ability to get away from the rush and make second-level throws. And Jaden Daniels, he's got really great quickness. And Washington's also desperate. I think with New England and Robert Kraft, because they got all that hardware and all those banners, that they're going to get some leeway from the fans for a couple of weeks, but not much, Rob, not much. Remember, the Patriots had a lot of no-shows in Foxborough last year, a lot. A lot of people just didn't show up, bought their tickets and didn't come to the game. Robert Kraft needs excitement in Patriot Place. I mean, you know, there is, of course, the history and the legacy and all that. But you still need to, gotta wanna get on, you know, Highway 1 for 3 hours and 98 minutes, both ways. And
it's awful getting in and out of there.
No, it's horrible. It's really bad. For those of us who don't have helicopters, it's bad. We know you got that helicopter, Robbie.
Oh, yeah.
You want a private plane.
Yep.
Oh, my God.
You know, they got to put some excitement back in the building, and I think May can do that. I like May.
Talking to Sal Paolantonio, covers the NFL for ESPN. All right, Saquon Barkley. Giants lose him. He goes to the Eagles. Really throws a curveball, I guess, in the NFC East. Your thoughts on how he's done so far in camp and how he fits in with the Eagles offense?
Super impressed. I think he's the number one off-season acquisition on offense for any team in the NFL. I think he's going to make Jalen Hurts better as a passer and as a runner. He's going to fit into Kellen Moore's RPO system, run-pass option system. He's going to make them a lot better in both phases of the game. They need it badly.
What is your take on this Hassan Reddick situation in the New York Jets and how we got here after this trade with the Eagles?
Make them happy. I'm always about, and I've been on your show many times. Thank you very much for inviting me back. I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for taking the invitations.
Rob, you know all my secrets. I have no choice.
I love you, man.
No, but listen, I've always been about you. You and I have talked a lot about it, and I've always been about, listen, pay players. The money is there. The owners have the money. The league has the money. The TV money is now flowing in effortlessly. The players need to get paid, and here's the players you need to get paid. Quarterbacks, edge rushers, corners, and pass protectors, left tackles and right tackles. Those are the guys. Notice how I didn't say wide receiver.
Yeah. Notice that.
They're fifth or sixth on the list.
Notice that. Wow.
They're deep down on the list. All right, let me talk some baseball with you because I know you're right there with the Phillies. What happened after the All-Star break with your Philadelphia Phillies?
Well, they ran into pretty good teams. They went to the West Coast. They always have problems in Seattle.
Everybody does. West Coast trips suck for baseball, by the way.
Yeah, it's terrible. Seattle, Arizona, they had some success in L.A. But I thought overall a couple of things. First of all, you know, their pitching staff, Nola and Wheeler, were getting the ball up in the strike zone. They couldn't get their sliders down in the strike zone. and that was a big problem. And the other thing is the discipline at the plate for guys like Marsh, Castellanos, and I'm going to say it, Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper's hitting over the top of everything, pretty much everything. And Castellanos and Real Muto are, again, like they did in the NLCS last year and the World Series a year ago, still chasing those sliders on the outside part of the plate. Have you noticed how Judge, I mean, there's been a couple of articles written about it, I'm sure you have, adjusted his swing and adjusted his stance.
Oh, yeah.
So that hitting it to the right, he's hitting it to right field. And he is meeting the outside curveball or sweepers or whatever they're throwing him, sliders, on the outside portion of the plate and going with the pitch. And that's really led to his success here. That's been unbelievable monstrosity that he has become.
Well, I mean, I tell my 15U, 16-year-old kids to listen to Ken Griffey Jr. He talked about hitting line drives into the gaps, left center field, right center field, and that's what Judge does really well. So does Soto. So let me ask you a Soto question. Do you pay that guy $500 million to stay in New York?
Absolutely. No question about it.
Damn.
Again, the money is there. The money is there. Do you see what the NBA contract
I want you to be my agent.
Yeah,
just pay the man.
Seriously, the players.
Yeah, you're right.
The players need to get paid in every circumstance. I don't think there's a circumstance where I have never ever said to a player or about a player, take a hometown discount. That's a bunch of bull. That's crazy. Just pay these players what the market value is. And Soto, you turn on the Yes Network. What are you watching? Aaron Judge, A, Juan Soto, B, and then everybody else. Okay, that's a lot of money for your network if you've got eyeballs to watch these two guys play every single night. And then how do you justify it? If you're just Mr. Young Steinbrenner, how do you justify Juan Soto walking across the Queens and playing in Citi Field, which I don't think he would ever do, but you don't.
But that guy has the money. Cohen has the money to throw $600 at him.
They all do, Dibs.
Well said.
Sal, I have to ask a Phillies fan that's an educated Phillies fan like yourself, because I tell Dibs this all the time whenever I see the Phillies lineup come out. It just irks me. It's been irking me for 3 years. Why does Schwarber lead off? I think that's the dumbest thing in the history of baseball, and they continue to do it. Am I alone on this, or do Philly fans feel the same way?
No, man. When Schwarbs, sort of like, trundles out from the dugout, and he gives you that mean look, and the crowd gets excited. It's like Jerome Brown and Reggie White lining up on a defensive line. It sets the tone.
That's the
man.
tone.
That's the tone.
Sets the tone.
Best
and then,
answer I've heard.
That little squat knee down to the ground, sweeping left-handed swing, and the ball goes into New Jersey. Come on, that's beautiful. That's why. There, I answered your question.
That's the best answer I've gotten so far.
That's beautiful.
Best answer I've gotten.
He hits it a country mile. Always wonderful to have you on, Sal Pal. We'll have you on again soon. Love you, man.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you. Sal Paolantonio, everybody, NFL reporter for ESPN. Let's take a quick break. Come back. Do First Dibs question of the day next.